The People First podcast is a show presented by people with learning disabilities for our friends and community. We talk about issues that are important to us and interview interesting people to find out new information. This is our way to make a difference and have our voices heard.
Hello, welcome to the People First podcast today. We are speaking to some workers from the original fraud project based at the Yorkshire and Humber police. They came to our office to tell us all about scams and decided to invite them to tell us more on the podcast. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you for your joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. First, thank you very much for having us. Really appreciate you inviting us on here, because getting this kind of message out is brilliant, and I know you've got quite a reach. But my name is Phil Gretton. I'm a Prevent and Protect Officer for the Yorkshire and Humber Regional Organised Crime Unit, which is a mouthful, but it essentially means police. And I'm here with my colleague Bren, who's going to introduce himself.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Thanks for having us. We echo what Phil said. It's a good opportunity for us to kind of put our message out. But not only that, I think we probably speak for all of us. We've really enjoyed our day hanging out with you today and learning some about your world and some of the issues that you face. So thank you for that and for sort of being open and honest with us. My job title is I'm a cybercrime protect officer, and I work for the Yorkshire and Humber regional organised crime unit, and we're based in Wakefield. And my job is to kind of move around different communities, ranging from sort of younger people to older end of society, and also small and medium-sized businesses, helping them stay safe online and minimise the amount of risk they're exposed to as a business. That's kind of what I do.
What kind of work do the fraud project do?
So the fraud team at the Yorkshire and Humber Regional Organised Crime Unit and our local police forces, our protect teams do many different things to help keep people safe. One day we might record a podcast like this, which is great, or speak to local community groups like we've spoken to you this morning. We share information about scams and fraud so that people know what to look out for and how to keep themselves safe. Then another day we might be visiting a school, and we talk to young people about making safe choices and staying away from criminality. So it's not just being a victim of a scam, it's to stop them getting involved in the perpetrators of a scam as well. We also help people who have been the victims of fraud. So being targeted by a scam can be upsetting and really quite stressful. And people feel worried, embarrassed and confused by it. Our job is to support the victim. We help them move forward. This could include talking to their bank with them, helping them with that, or it could be signposting them to the right type of victim support, emotional support they may have. I think most importantly what we do is we want people to know that they're not alone and that help is available for us.
Why do scams and fraud happen?
I'll take that. So it's like, I suppose, any crime. There's usually a reason for it. And simply, scammers do it to get something from you. That could be information that they can use. It could be money. It's usually one of those two things, money or personal information. And they might want to steal money using your bank account, or sell your information to other criminals who might kind of attack your finances, your sort of safety and your position in other ways. Some scammers also target lots of people because even if only a few people are tricked, they can still make money. So it's almost like like what we call a speculator. So if scammers target, let's say they target 1,000 people, and they're hoping that all the 1,000 engage in that scam, then they're going to make a lot of money. But even if just 1 or 2 do it, they are still making money. So it's pretty simple. They do it to benefit themselves or somebody else at your expense, at the victim's expense. And remember, it's the scammer. I want you to be very clear on this. It's the scammer that's doing something wrong, okay? Not the victim. It's quite easy when you're tricked to be embarrassed and feel like you've done something wrong, or that if you could have done something different. But you haven't done anything wrong. We, the victims, haven't done anything wrong. It's always the scammer that's the naughty one, the one who's up to no good. Just remember that, okay? It's really important that we kind of keep our dignity in that. All right. Yep, I think that answers that.
Social media is paid when not on side where I can see online.
Okay, that's me again. So social media is great, and it's a really positive tool for us as individuals, for organisations, sports teams, to get their message out and communicate with their, like if it's a sports team, their fan base, for instance. So it's good for that. It's good to while away the hours, to watch videos. There's many positive things about social media. I'm going to come across like a bit of a school teacher here, but we've got some don'ts that we can kind of consider, and some sort of rules to just try and keep you safe. The first one is, and it's probably one of the most obvious ones, but I don't think we can sort of refresh enough on this, but it's not to give out private information, not to share things like your password, any PIN numbers, bank details, or any other private information. The second one I would advise is be careful about who you actually talk to on social media. Someone might have a friendly picture and a nice profile, but that doesn't actually mean you really know who they are. If someone you have met online asks for money, personal information, or photographs that make you uncomfortable, please tell someone you trust. That's a good bit of kind of priority advice there. Not to click on strange links, and that's a tricky one, that, because sometimes we get emails from or text messages and it looks like they're from people we know, but the sophistication is that they can clone the people we know, these scammers, and make it appear like the person that you're communicating with is somebody you know, when actually it isn't. So on sort of anything like that, if there's a link that you see, just I would be tempted not to click it. If Phil, for instance, just sent me a link and there's no context, he hasn't explained, oh, look at this one, this is about your football team or your rugby team, I wouldn't click that. What I would do is I would text Phil and say, you've sent me a link, I'm not opening it, what is it, please? And if he tells me, I think I'm going to be all right opening it. So I think it's worth just doing a little bit of detective work before we click on stuff, because if we don't, it can land us in all sorts of hot water. Watch out for the pressure of somebody saying, don't tell anyone. We often get that where people say, oh, let's just keep this between ourselves. I want you to do this, but don't tell anyone. Don't kind of fall for that. The other things that kind of make scams effective are the pressure element. You must act now or you're going to lose out this. You must act now, kind of that pressure. If there's pressure, it's usually a dodgy bit of an email or text. Bona fide people, genuine people who've got your interests at heart, who like you and love you, aren't going to send you stuff like that adds pressure and makes you feel uncomfortable. Ask someone you trust if you're not sure if anything that you come across is real or not. You don't have to work it out on your own. And I would say that to myself, I would say that to my family, to my colleagues, because it's very easy. And certainly for us, this is what we do. We go around sort of explaining this kind of stuff. We can all get complacent, and it's very easy sometimes when we're doing the daily life, and we're thinking about what's for tea or putting the trash out, whatever it is, we can just switch off. And it's in those moments where we're likely to click something We were talking earlier on about sort of speeding, and in the car, if you're speeding, it's usually when you've just switched off for a brief second. It's not, you haven't done it intentionally. Nobody sets out and does that intentionally. It just happens by accident. And it's the same with kind of our internet safety and security. It's always when we're off guard and we're thinking about something else. My last kind of message on that is, and it's kind of a way to remember it, is just stop, think, and check. Whenever it is, whatever it is that's landed in front of you, whether it's a text message or an email, just stop, take a moment, use that time that you've got, and think about it. Ask people, check before you click on anything, before you accept that friend request, before you click on that link that is meant to be a video of a dog jumping over something. Just take that time, because if it's true and it's a bit real, you have time. If it's not, there'll be jeopardy, and they'll be trying to make you feel under pressure to act. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does.
AI is making things more difficult with fake pictures and videos becoming more common. What signs should you look for to spot a jam?
You're absolutely right. AI is making things a lot more difficult, and it's becoming more and more commonplace. I know my phone has lots of little AI things on to make funny pictures, which I'll send to the wife or to my friends. But unfortunately, there are people that will use it for more nefarious reasons. There are some ways that you can spot AI. With videos, there might be some kind of unnatural blinking in the eyes. Eyes are, they say, the window to the soul. You can normally see that there's something uncanny about the eyes in a video. There may be some strange facial movements in the video as well that doesn't look quite right. And the lip movements may be out of sync. So the lips maybe look like they're saying something else to what the actual audio is saying. In terms of pictures, I do know that he's still struggling with hands. So count fingers, that's always a good one. If there's too many fingers on a hand. Irregular teeth and jewellery, it has a real problem doing fine jewellery. So it might be that someone's wearing 2 neck chains, but there's only half of a chain there. Odd lighting and shadows as well. Although this is getting better, it may be that one shadow in the background of the picture is going one way, but the shadow on the person isn't the right way. So there is a lot. I think for us as people, you get a natural feeling for something potentially being off. So if you don't believe it, don't believe it.
People with learning disabilities often have support with their money. Why is it so important to have someone you trust to help you with money?
Managing money can sometimes be difficult, and there can be a lot of information to understand. That's why it can be really helpful to have someone you trust support you with it. A trusted person can help explain things clearly and in a way that makes sense to you. They know you well. They understand the best way to communicate with you. Like my wife knows the ways to talk to me. She might be able to explain something better to me than maybe Bren could. Although Bren's very good at explaining things, so I'll just say that. But they may be able to also help you check that something is genuine or a scam, so they may know the ways to do that. It's important to remember that you should only share information about your money with people that you trust. So people that you know, you've got an established relationship with, and you do trust them. Banks can help as well. If you would like a little extra support, your bank may be able to add a note to your account to let staff know that you might need things explaining more clearly or a little extra help. This can make it easy for you to manage your money safely and with confidence. I worked in the bank previously as well, and those can be put on, so it gives the call centre people a little bit more information to help you out.
What should you do if you are not sure by something, or if you think you have been signed?
Okay, so yeah, if you're unsure about something, and this is kind of echoing what Bren said in the previous question, is to stop and take your time. Taking that step back is a massive help for you. You don't have to decide straight away. A lot of fraudsters will use pressure and time to try and make you make a decision in that instant. You don't have to. No one is making you make that decision straight away. Speak to someone you trust again. So if you do have someone that's been helping with your finances or anything like that, speak to them or someone that you do trust. You've got a great network here. I'm sure everyone here will be able to help you out. This is brilliant. We love coming to places where there's a network because we know you've got people that can help you out. A member of the bank staff can help you as well. They're all trained in this sort of thing, so you can go into a branch. It doesn't necessarily have to be your own branch. You can go in if you just need some help, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. If you think you have been scammed, again echoing what Bren said, don't feel embarrassed. Scams can happen to anyone. It's not your fault. Anyone can become a victim of fraud. I've been a victim of fraud within the last few years with some transactions on my card, and I'm an expert. So it can actually happen to anyone. Again, tell someone you trust as soon as possible and have them help you contact your bank straight away, especially if you think you've lost any money. If you've shared any of your bank details, also contact your bank, even if no money's gone out, because they'll need to change those for you. The sooner you ask for help, the more support and advice you can get. And remember, if something doesn't feel right, it's always okay to stop and check.
Are there any common scams our listeners might need to be aware of?
Yeah, unfortunately, there are common scams which your listeners should be aware of. I'm going to go through a few, a little bit of an explanation of what they are, and all of this information is available online. And we're going to tell you sort of at the end where you can get some more information. So, one of the first ones, it's called romance fraud, but it can also be companionship or friendship fraud, and it happens when someone pretends to be your friend or a partner, normally online. They might send kind messages and spend some time building trust. After a while, they may ask for money or personal information. If someone you've never met asks you for money, it could be a scam. Always be quite wary of that. Another one that's actually happening quite a bit in the Yorkshire and Humber region is courier fraud, which is when a criminal, again, pretends to be maybe a police officer or a bank. They may tell you that your money is not safe, and they may ask you to withdraw some cash or buy some gift cards or even some jewellery. We've had it where they've bought jewellery. They'll then ask you to take that home, and they'll send a courier around to come round and pick that up from you. It's normally under the guise of you're helping the police with an inquiry, but it is a scam. Once they've taken the jewellery, you'll have lost that and the money. Real police officers or the bank will never ask you to withdraw any money, go and purchase anything. If you do get a call from those as well, a real police officer or the bank will not mind if you hang up on them and verify who they are. Absolutely. And one of the last ones that is targeted, and it can get people into a little bit of trouble themselves, is something called money laundering, and it's normally through easy money scams, and it often starts with an offer that sounds too good to be true. Someone may offer you some money for using your bank account to move money for them. They may say it's an easy way to earn cash, even if you don't know where the money's come from. Using your account this way could help criminals and may get you into trouble. Never let anyone use your bank account. And you'll hear that we repeat a lot of things, and one of them is, if something doesn't feel right, stop and check. Talk to someone you trust before sending any money, sharing any personal information, or making any financial decision. Asking for help is always the right thing to do. Always.
What is your favourite part of the work you do?
I'm not just saying it, but doing podcasts for community groups, hanging out with community groups, and helping people stay safe online is what I love doing about my job. I do a real variety of things, projects, tasks, but I'm at my happiest when I'm with people out in the community, sharing experiences about how we can stay safe online. I get a big kick out of it. I would do it for free if I wasn't being paid. I honestly love it.
Yeah, and for myself, it's the same. It's the difference we make in people's lives. I can tell you a story. It's a true story. I remember we were doing a freshers fair and we were talking to a lot of students, and unfortunately international students are targeted quite a lot for scams. And I had a really good sort of 15-minute conversation with an international student, and she went away with a bit of information and a bit of free merch, because everyone was a freebie. And literally 15 minutes she came back to tell me that she'd had the phone scam call that I'd just been telling her about. And she said if I hadn't have been speaking to her, she would have believed it was the UK visa office ringing her. So that was an instant impact that we made on someone. So that day was worth it purely for that. So yeah, it's the difference we make. I think you agree with that, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely.
If people want to for researchers like Johnny and person, where can they go?
Yeah, there's lots of information online, plenty on there. The government's own website and campaign is called Stop Think Fraud. If you pop that into Google, that'll come up with the government's website. There is a wealth of information on there about fraud and scams and how to protect yourself from literally what they are, what to do if you become a victim, and how you can get yourself into a better position if you have been a victim. So it's a really good resource. The Report Fraud, where you can report fraud, is also a really good resource, their website. And for cyber, I don't know if Bren wants to...
Yeah, the National Cyber Security Centre, that website has loads and loads of really helpful advice for all types of people and all types of applications. And the one I would push the most, because it's pertinent to what we've been talking about today, not only in the podcast but in the presentation we did earlier. It's about how to keep your social media accounts safe. So it gives you a step-by-step list of actions to take with your phone, with your computer, and all the accounts that you have, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, X, whatever account it is, it goes through them, and it's plain English, it's simple, and diagrams. I love a diagram. I work best with images and stuff. But yeah, I would highly recommend that National Cyber Security Centre. And if you just click on the kind of support pages, help and advice, it breaks it down. It's got for individuals, it's got for family, it's got for businesses, it's got for schools, community groups. It's absolutely fantastic.
That our last session for the day, we like to say a big thank you again to our guests from the Regional Frog Project for joining us on our podcast and sharing more about jams and frog with our listeners. Staying safe is important, and knowing that to look out for and what to do when on shore is important. Does anyone have anything else they like to add before we end our show?
Just once again, thanks for having us. We've really enjoyed our day. It's been great getting to know you all, and hopefully giving you some information that you can use and possibly pass on to your friends and family as well, and try and keep people safe from scams. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you from me. We've really enjoyed sort of hanging out with you today, and the welcome we've received from you has been great. It's made us feel really welcome and given us space and time, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. And please ask us back again. We'll be happy to come and do any sort of more talks, any more podcasts on a variety of the subjects that we cover. Only too happy to come over.
Thank you.
Well done,
Thank you.
guys.
That's
Amazing.
brilliant.
Well done.
People say okay if them is bad for you. It is the people our friends and come if we talk about issues that are important in the industry. People decide that nothing maybe always in me and this moon on the body.